you can't speak Chinese? I said, yeah, but you're Chinese. Did my parents messed up? They didn't send me to a Chinese school, you know?
It's not like you said you're white. I don't get why people would assume just because you're fluent in English, you're not good in your native language. You can be good in both.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are too legit to quit. I am Collin.
I'm Yana, Azlee. Happy advance Eid Mubarak. I know it's not Eid yet, but there's no harm in wishing you early.
Ja. Skrit. How are you, man?
Good, man. You? So what are we talking about today?
I'm going to ask you, like, it started, what do you call it? Eid Mubarak Ramadan is here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, how are you guys holding up? Like, first few days is tough? No? Used to it?
First few days is really, really tough because, like, usually on my first day, I would forget that we're fasting.
Oh, man.
And then I would just, like, as a reflex, I would walk to the kitchen and be like, coffee. And then I'm like, wait a minute, what day is it?
Oh, no.
Ramadan close. Because, you know, I have this habit of walking to the fridge just to check what's inside. Inventory check.
Wow.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, I don't even drink that much of water, but, like, water looks extra good when you're fasting.
Right. I actually want to ask this question. The concept of fasting and Ramadan, I think to our audiences in the US or around the world, maybe you can share a little bit about the concept of that. Just a short bit before we get into our discussion.
So basically, Ramadan is a month where Muslims refrain from doing certain things. So mainly like eating and drinking. There's a lot of other things that go into Ramadan. There's also special prayers and all that. So we basically don't have any food or drink from, I think, the beginning. There's this, like I think 5 or 6 a.m. around there. I'm not sure what time sahur is.
Different areas, different part
areas,
of the world.
Different parts of the world have different times. So basically before sunrise, before the first prayer, before the morning prayer, right? So you're able to eat at night until the morning prayer.
Right.
And then you stop eating, stop drinking, and then there's a few other things you're not supposed to do until sunset.
The idea behind it is to help you improve your
religion, your faith, and also to sort of like empathize with people who don't get that.
And also help you as an individual to
grow as a Muslim.
Patience,
so like
right?
Patience, there's patience.
I don't know how you guys do it, man.
Self-control, So basically Ramadan trains you to, like, for example, you're a smoker, right? So in Islam you're not allowed to smoke. So
no smoking, man.
So no smoke, nothing. From, this period to this period of time. So like you will realize eventually, so if I can do this, why can't I do it for the rest of the year?
Crazy.
Yeah. So the prayers also teach you to, be a community, because that's where you engage with your neighbors and all that. You get to know people in your community.
It stops you for a bit and just like, take a time out, right?
Yeah, it's kind of to just like worship,
Worship, take a time out.
To worship, to read the Quran, because sometimes like people get too busy, they forget to pause and feed their spirituality. So Ramadan is a month to remind you.
And it kills you if you don't stop. It does,
It really does.
It does.
Because you need to stop and feed your soul. Because if your soul is starved, that's when, because whether or not you believe in God, like you have to kind of like feed your soul with something, For Muslims, it's like our religion, right? But for like, how do you do it?
I like it how in Malaysia is because we are so aware that our fellow Muslim friends are in the Ramadan season, and we in different religions and backgrounds also will be aware of the commitment to it.
Yeah.
So it helps us also, like, not every day you want to call your friend out for drinks. Not every day that you're gonna like bring everybody out, and then it gets old and then it gets overwhelming. So I think it's a very good time for this, just like, time out. Even for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, okay, I can't ask my Muslim friend for lunch, obviously, because he or she is in her puasa, in her Ramadan.
Fasting, yeah.
And I think for us also, outside of it, we feel like, maybe we just take it easy, spend some time alone if we're not going to eat lunch together. So it's a good awareness kind of thing. So I kind of like that,
Yeah. Have you tried fasting?
Yeah, I could only make it for one meal. That's it.
Isn't that all it is, though? Like, you just skip lunch because you can eat dinner.
Well, living in this country where it gets really hot, sometimes you get thirsty so quickly and
Oh, yeah.
you're hungry.
Absolutely.
And depending on the work that you do, a big shout out to those guys in construction and all that. You know, you guys are doing it at the same time, doing hard labor stuff.
Yeah.
So much respect for that, and helps you calm down and change your perspective.
Yeah.
as you-
Actually, in
yeah.
certain conditions, you are allowed to skip your fast and replace it at another time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like O book.
Like-
Owing.
What's
Like kind
that?
of owing, like you can do it.
You can kind of owe and repay it later if, like, for example, you're not well, or you're pregnant where it's dangerous for you to fast, or if you're doing hard labor, you can actually skip sometimes. And if, like, for girls, you have to skip when you're on your period.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
So then you
Yeah.
have to replace it, like, before the next Ramadan.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's
Just a little insight into
yeah, guys.
the little
Just a little bit more
Ramadan.
insight about what fasting is all about and what's the fasting like in Malaysia. We're pretty much aware of our friends, Muslim friends. Like, yeah,
We also have this thing called the
and
Ramadan
then we
Bazaar.
wait for you guys to open, and we'll join you guys.
The Eid Mubarak,
The
right?
Eid
The
Mubarak,
Eid
like Buka
Mubarak.
Ramadan, they call it, which is having dinner
Having dinner
and we can eat now.
We can eat now at dinner, right? When after sunset, that's when we kind of get together. Sometimes with our non-Muslim friends as well. We eat. And
I love
we
it
talk.
though.
It's amazing.
I enjoy it. Like you guys go all out in food after that.
Oh, yeah. Which actually you're not supposed to, because Ramadan is supposed to teach you, like, doing everything in moderation.
Understood.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're not
okay.
supposed to kind of like go ham on food or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
That's why you got to pace yourself.
Pace on ourselves.
So Ramadan is all about pacing yourself, basically.
Yeah, I like that. I love that, and that's very how to say unified.
It's very unifying, absolutely. I have had friends who tried to fast. It's a very interesting experience for them.
and even with our different languages, we have so many languages in Malaysia.
We're multicultural,
Multicultural.
multilingual.
Yeah.
Almost everybody in Malaysia is at least a bilingual. Like for me personally, I speak 2 languages. My mother tongue is not English, contrary to popular belief. My mother tongue is this language called Malay. So what's your mother tongue? What's it called?
Supposed to be Chinese, bro.
but which one?
But because I grew up in a Catholic family, so we spoke English when I was already
Mostly.
and I didn't pick up Chinese because the whole family in the house speaks English. I watch a lot of English movies, hear a lot of English songs, and Chinese was just a bit here and there. The only time I use Chinese is when I curse. When you're
Don't we
angry.
all?
Yeah, and that's like different dialects itself. So
But you do speak Malay though, right?
I do speak Malay, and I love speaking Malay too, and I love listening to Malay songs and singing it too. And it's really nice.
There's
Yeah.
just something very satisfying about kind of like roasting people in your own language rather than English.
What did you do?
I get a lot of hate comments sometimes from like people outside of Malaysia.
Oh yeah?
So yeah, and they are really mean comments. And instead of like letting it get to me, I reply to them in my native language.
Oh.
And you would think, oh, I can just Google Translate that. No.
Oh.
I use the short forms that are exclusive to Malaysians.
Nah, dude. This is we're localizing our stuff here, man. You can't Google those things. If you want to know what's that, you gotta come over here and like hang out.
You can't.
Yeah, you can't.
And it confuses them and they get so disoriented by the whole thing.
Yeah. Like different parts of humor of it is different, especially.
It's different parts of humor.
Yeah, the burn is different, guys. Right here in the middle of the earth where Malaysia is, the burn's different.
The
so
burn
watch
is
out.
different.
Watch out.
We're built different. Curry is considered, we started eating spice in the womb. So y'all wouldn't want to mess with us. We've been burned before.
Crazy.
By the spice and by the sun.
By the spice and by the sun, man.
By the spice and the sun.
So you grew up speaking Malay.
Malay. Okay, I
How
was
did you
supposed-
How did you pick up English to begin with then?
Okay, so it started with Malay, right?
Yeah.
And then my dad speaks a different dialect of Malay.
Yeah.
So he speaks Northern Malay. My mom speaks Southern Malay.
Kelantan.
Yeah. So no, my dad is Kedah.
Oh, Kedah.
So like this is
Alright.
Northern Malaysia, right? Okay, think
No.
maybe think like I don't know, Washington, right? Like
Okay.
Washington and Texas.
Right. Texas.
So it's like Washington and Texas. Different dialects, right?
Yeah.
Different dialects of like English, different versions of like English.
different humor.
Different humor.
Different
so
humor.
I was very confused as to how Malay is supposed to sound like. So then my dad decided to speak English to me.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I couldn't understand him the whole time because he was saying like he meant spoon and I heard pear.
Wow. But your dad spoke good English.
He spoke decent English.
Decent English.
Decent
Okay.
English. I mean, kind of good. Because like they were both from English schools.
All right. All right.
Yeah, because my mom was from a convent, an all-girls school. She's my super senior because I went to the same school eventually.
Okay.
So my dad was from a different school as well, and his family kind of grew up speaking English to each other. So my dad's Indian Thai, and
Interesting.
my mom's Chinese Malay or something like that.
Wow.
I don't even know. But yeah, there's just a
Indian,
lot.
Thai, Chinese, Malay,
Yeah, so there's just a lot of
and then you.
enemy
Wow.
to make me. So to you guys who think I'm Indian, you're not wrong, but it's just
A percentage of it is
a
there.
percentage of it.
Yeah.
You're 25% right.
There we go. There we go. And English was something that you picked up because of your dad.
I picked up because of my dad, and my mom started showing me all the Enid Blyton books. Do you remember Enid Blyton, the author, the children's author?
No, man.
Oh, you didn't grow up reading Enid Blyton? Maybe Enid Blyton.
That's pretty advanced, I guess. I've never actually come across with that book or
Really?
comic or something like that.
No,
Yeah.
it's not a comic. It's a storybook.
It's a storybook.
Yeah,
Oh,
so it's
okay,
like
okay.
a series of storybooks. So like Enid Blyton used to write only children's books. She doesn't write adult books.
I didn't do much reading when I was a kid. Just want to put it out there. I was the kind of kid that likes to get out and just do stuff. That kind of kid that needs activities. But English was part of the family because we spoke English. Obviously, everybody spoke English. And then I got accustomed to watching English movies and started learning how to American accent to British and stuff like that. So it was very entertaining.
Like media centric.
Yeah.
Kind of. That's also part
And
of
music. Don't forget music.
As music, exactly.
Yeah.
Music.
Back in those days, we got to find lyrics in the cassette.
Sometimes like the cassettes run out of space, so you have to kind of
Sometimes
like
no lyrics, man.
yeah. Sometimes you just have to listen
Sucks
to
to
it.
be
right
yo,
now.
bro. There's no lyrics, man. You gotta guess it. So we had to write it down when we listened to the,
The
cassette.
tapes,
Yeah.
right? This is the thing.
Did
like,
he say baby or maybe? You know the kind of shit.
and then like only for you to Google the lyrics like years later and realize, wait a minute, that's what they said.
We know Google, bro. Back in those days.
Yeah, we didn't have Google. We
Yeah.
we listened to
He
tapes.
was assuming with confidence.
we were the pioneers of misheard lyrics.
yeah. Forgive us sometimes we assume so badly.
Oh my god.
Should assume actually.
I was
You
I
should
was
be clear about
supposed
it.
I was supposed to be fluent in Mandarin because I learned Mandarin for about a year in
did?
preschool.
Mandarin's pretty helpful these days, man.
It was, but the
Yeah.
thing is, like, I moved out of the school too fast, right? I only spent a year learning it, so I was supposed to be fluent. So this is what happened, right? Malay, and then my mom sent me to Mandarin school, and then I lost my ability to speak Malay.
Wow.
And then my mom and dad panicked because they couldn't communicate with me.
We lost our kid with her tongue.
It just had like this kid who speaks Mandarin, and then they're like, okay, let's send her to an English school, and then I still couldn't speak Malay.
Oh my.
I lost my ability to speak my native language, and then they sent me to a Malay school, but I didn't lose any abilities, but I forgot how to speak Mandarin after that
Wow.
because I had no one to talk to
Right.
by then.
Right.
So I just grew up in like a multilingual, society.
Indeed.
But if somebody were to talk smack about me in Mandarin, I can understand. Sometimes I reply to them. They were talking smack about me in the elevator,
Okay.
and I was just like, "Who you calling short?" They're like,
Wow. Wow. Straight up, man.
And then they just go, 你明白我啊?
Ooh.
And I'm like, yeah. It means like, you understood me? And I'm like, yeah, just because I can't talk back doesn't mean I don't understand what you just said.
Call him out.
Yeah, call him out.
Call him out, man.
Yeah, I call him out sometimes because like that's the thing about Malaysians, right? We have this sibling rivalry dynamic among each other.
Yeah.
But the moment somebody from another region, like Southeast Asians are like that, you know, we bicker a lot like siblings, but it's all love. It's all love.
It's
right?
all love. The kind of thing that's going on out here. The things that we say.
The things that we say are really bizarre.
Bizarre.
Like it's very hard for a lot of people to understand. I used to make
Yeah.
a skit about Thai people.
Oh.
I'm part Thai, so
Interesting.
and then there was a friend of mine who called me out, but she's in the Western country.
Okay.
She's like I think she's American Asian, right?
Yeah.
So I know in America it's a touchy subject to make jokes like that.
Okay.
And I was telling her, you have to understand, in Southeast Asia, it's a lot different.
It is a lot different.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
have friendly banter all the time.
It does.
It's so normalized here that it's not offensive at
Yeah.
all. We make fun of each other. But the moment another country or another continent makes fun of Southeast Asia, we are all binding together to roast you.
You don't know what you're saying, bro.
Yeah. Somebody tried to make fun of Malaysia. Indonesia got triggered. You're triggering. If you trigger.
Dare you?
Yeah. You trigger Malaysia, Indonesia is gonna be pissed off at you. Philippines is gonna go against you. Everybody's gonna form an army and just roast you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
definitely.
not gonna survive that. Southeast Asians are built different.
People get offended in some of the languages sometimes that they assume that you're supposed to know. Like for me, Chinese, I'm not really good at Chinese. And I get a lot of that kind of like questionable questions. Like, how do you respond to a question like, you can't speak Chinese? I say, yeah, but you're Chinese.
I mean,
How do you respond to that? I guess
what am I supposed
I
to
guess
say?
I suck being Chinese. I don't know. I don't know. How do you respond to that? Dude?
I
How would
mean,
somebody say?
it
You're Malay, but you can't speak Malay?
it doesn't make you any less of that race just because you don't speak that language. You know what I mean?
It took me a while to accept that, though.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I was like, my brain was like, am I really a Chinese? I am Sabahan from Malaysia, which is East Side. Catholic by default, right? And then it's like, how come you don't know how to speak Chinese? That hurts, dude.
Oh man, it's like, what am I supposed to?
I mean, from a very young child, I mean, as a teenager, growing up, then I'm like, my brain start to go overdrive. Like, am I supposed to learn Chinese? Did my parents messed up? They didn't send me to a Chinese school. Am I losing my identity just because I can't speak Chinese? You know, there's a lot of things coming up. You know, who am I? You know.
It's not like you said you're white. It's not like you said you're white. Like for me, people assume I can't speak the language just because I speak English mostly. So, and then I prove them wrong by roasting them in Malay.
I love it.
No, the reason why I speak English in the first place is because it's, you know, most of you guys are not Malay native speakers, right?
Yeah.
So I want to spread the joy to everybody, right?
Sharing.
Share the love to everybody, entertain everyone globally. I'm not saying that if I do it in Malay, I won't go global, but there's a language barrier, right? And I'm trying to overcome that language barrier.
Not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Not easy.
But even for me, like because people mistake me for.
But
like,
it's interesting though.
yeah,
Because we get to cross culture.
yeah,
We get to cross culture with from our viewers, of course, and then from what you guys can also understand what's happening in Kuala Lumpur, in Malaysia, when it comes to the localization of our communication.
yeah.
Yeah, it does, and we apologize if it doesn't get to a certain like understanding. I shouldn't be apologizing. It's
Nah.
different places with different culture, you know. They
Yeah.
but a lot of my humor is influenced from, of course, the Western culture.
I think it's the media, right?
The media. I still love to Jim Carrey, if you still remember.
Oh yeah, I miss Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey,
Will Ferrell,
Will Ferrell,
Yeah.
Robin. Is it Robin or Robin?
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams is the one that played Genie, right? He's not the guy who sang the Christmas song. I always get them confused. Is it Robin or Robbie?
Robbie Williams.
Robbie.
Robbie Williams or Robbie Williams? Robin Williams?
Robin?
Williams, the genie, Robbie Williams, the singer.
Robin Williams, the singer?
Genie.
Oh, the genie. I'm sorry. No, I just get them confused because their names are similar.
Let me check that out.
I think it's Robin. Robin, right?
Yeah, Robin.
Robbie's the one who defrosts during Christmas.
Okay, it's Robin Williams. The late Robin Williams.
The late Robin Williams. Yeah, he was a
Yeah.
legend.
Yeah,
Goodwill Hunting and all that.
exactly.
Legendary.
And yeah, man. I mean, like talking about the things that we learn and we absorb and the humor. Of course, we have our local humor and
We have a
Local-
local humor.
local understanding.
Fun fact, I got my accent from watching Nickelodeon and Disney, and I thought for the longest time that's how English is supposed to sound
Oh my
like.
goodness.
I was just like, oh, okay. So that's how I learned spoken English. So I learned written English, right, through books. And then I didn't know how to pronounce them most of the time because they're really advanced books, right?
Did you know how to differentiate between the American accent and the British accent?
Back then, no. I was a kid.
English is English, right?
Yeah, it was just English. And to me,
Water,
I was...
water.
And that's why my accent sounds like this. And then I encountered, that's not really a good term.
Guys, I give you a local thing how we speak English. If I'm going to speak English with Yana here, it's going to sound like this. So, how are you today, huh?
Okay. Yeah.
Seriously, this is how local, because when you hear the
Yeah.
we have the we have the la at the back. We're going to educate you a little bit. It's a different expression in terms of like exaggerated but powerful. So, how are you today, huh? You know, the face is like that and the sound, and then you respond with like,
Okay lah.
okay.
That's how Malaysians
I think that's
sound.
why I want to explain to everybody that is actually hearing this or watching this. It's like the la, the words that we use at the back end of our sentences.
Is suffix, right? The
Extra
suffix.
expression, bro.
Yeah. It's like emphasis, you know?
Emphasis.
It's like emphasis.
How would we explain it? You know what I mean? You know?
You know what? It's like,
You know what I mean? It's like...
do you know what I mean?
you-
You know, I say that so much that
in
I started saying it to my British friends. They're like, why do you keep saying
Dude,
that?
the other one is in it.
In it.
In it.
Do you know what I mean? You know, I say it to Shock so many times. Shock's my husband. And like, I say it to Shock so many times. Do you know what I mean? And he's like, no.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Over here in Malaysia, it's like...
You know what?
You understand or not? You know? Correct or not? Correct or not? Correct or not? Yeah.
Correct or not?
Correct or not? Correct or not? And then when we agree, correct. And our favorite one is like, there's so many ha. Ha has so many expressions.
Huh?
Ha. Ha, the confused, huh? The can't hear you, huh? And then the caught you in the act, ha.
And
Caught you in the
the kind of understand but not really.
Oh yeah.
The,
Yeah. Let me remember that.
confused. Caught you in the act.
Confirming your thoughts. Confirming.
There's also like different ways of saying can. So it's like,
Oh, dude.
can la.
Can la. We put the la at the back.
So it's kind of like, yeah, it's possible, kind of.
Yeah.
It's kind of possible. Can la.
we
you know?
shorten it. We
Yeah.
shorten it.
We love to shorten everything. There's also like, are you sure this is possible? Can me?
Can me? There's a expression of like, can you do this? You know?
Yeah.
And then there's a confidence. Can. Can. Yeah, this is part of our languages in Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur. Like every time when we speak locally to the local people, the local of us being home, and then you're like, Yana, can you do it or not? Can you do it or not? Can. One, don't scat.
Can.
Don't scat. So don't be afraid. We go like, don't scat.
There's also like Malay-fied English words. Have you heard of those before?
What, like berdansa?
No, it's like, no, those are borrowed words, right? It's like member.
Oh shit.
You know how member is like a member of something, right?
Yeah, member of a
But-
society.
Member of society and all that. But in Malay, right, you use the word member to mean friend.
My member coming.
Yeah.
My member on the way. Don't worry, bro.
Oh, this
We
one.
got you, bro.
This one, my member.
That one, my old member. Because he's old.
Oh my god. There's that, and then there's the word best, because which means like the best, right? But for us, it means like it's enjoyable.
Ooh. How ah?
It's like
How ah?
It's like
That's
how
how we. What do you mean? Is that how ah?
It's kind of like, how do you find this food? Best.
And then it's not the best. It's like middle best. It's
Okay lah.
okay lah.
Okay lah.
It's actually like we don't want to hurt your feeling, but it's okay lah.
Yeah, because like in Malaysia, there's a lot of like subtext when you say something.
Subtext, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
subtext. We're not very direct people.
We're so considerate for your feelings.
Yeah, we're kind of like, there's a lot of culture.
So it brings me to another understanding and perspective. Is like our honesty in Malaysia is different, man. It's so different
Which part?
because culture is involved in terms of honesty. I don't want to be so honest in a way that I already understood your situation and I don't want to hurt you. I'm trying to explain this. It's a struggle by itself, but maybe along the way we'll come to a understanding. So honesty in Malaysia culture is also very sensitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's a lot of like
Like
we're
when we say
trying-
okay lah, we don't want to be honest in a way that it sucks.
It sucks, yeah.
we say okay lah, it's kind of nice.
yeah, we don't want to straight up say your food sucks or like
Yeah.
your food tastes like ass.
Yeah, and that's why I think our language and how we speak, the rain, you can hear the rain. It's raining right now. Yes,
Yeah.
it's a tropical
Welcome
country.
to tropical country.
Welcome to our tropical country. Our weather is like bipolar. Anyway,
Yeah. It was
it is the culture of communicating and languages that we have learned to speak.
Which brings to this topic. When I first had American friends, where there's a cultural difference, right? So you would think that after being exposed to Western media and imitating their accent very well, I'm sorry, I'm imitating you guys. I just thought this is how English is supposed to sound. So you would think I understood their culture, but apparently not.
It's so diverse.
It's very diverse. It's to the point where they wanted me to be honest, and then I'm like, I don't want to hurt your feelings. They're like, no, hurt my feelings. And I'm like, are you okay, sir?
Oh man,
You want me to be honest why I'm mad at you? Well, it's because you suck. What am I supposed to say? I don't know what to tell you.
we think about how people are receiving this a lot. I
Yeah.
think that's how we are in our communication and our. I think bring back to our languages now.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of culture behind it. There's a lot of principles.
There's a lot of principles. Also, like our Asian culture of like just
Okay,
trying
I'm
to sugarcoat things.
I'm just gonna go off bit just a little bit. Like for example, we don't wear our shoes in the house. We take it off.
Yeah.
I don't want to assume that Americans like to wear their shoes into the house. But when I watch movies,
They
you guys,
do.
They just wear shoes in the house.
They do.
And they're fine with that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to deal with that.
We had an Airbnb where were we allowed shoes in the Airbnb? Do you remember? Yeah, we went to LA and we were allowed to wear shoes, but we were so culture shocked that we kind of just like left our shoes outside the room because it's just not something that we did back home. Also, there's this culture in America where they would just compliment strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was walking around, I think it was in Santa Monica Pier, right? That was my first time visiting America.
Nice.
And I wore this pair of pants, yeah, cow print pants, right? Which I wouldn't wear in Malaysia because, people would stare. So Malaysians, like, if they find you beautiful, they'll just stare.
Shock.
They, like, oh my God, that girl is
This
stunning.
is overwhelming, but nice.
Nice, beautiful, but they won't like say anything. But in America, they're like, nice pants, and I'm like, are you talking to me?
The thing about Malaysian here receiving compliments is another bad thing that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
What are your intentions by saying that? It's horrible.
There's always a
It always
thing.
been, and I've been that kind of person. Say, hey, nice shoes. What do you mean, nice shoes? Well,
You know, there used to be this Malay joke like, who paid you?
who paid you? Who paid you?
Who sent you?
what
do you
money
want?
are you taking to say these things?
Yeah, it's like, and the way people in the American Sephora approach things versus how the Malaysian Sephora approach things are two different, approaches, right?
Different policy,
Different. I wouldn't say policy,
No
but it's
policy.
more like culture.
culture.
Culture. So in Malaysia, they will highlight the insecurities you didn't even know existed. For real.
Yeah, some Malaysian honesty right here, bro.
I was looking for a concealer, right, for my under eye.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Oh, this concealer is like too low coverage. It's too thin, right?
Yeah.
You might want this one for your fine lines." And I'm like, "I
Wow.
have fine lines."
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
but in Sephora America, it's different, right? They're just kind of like, you already have beautiful eyes. What would you like to address? I can help you.
Wow. That's a lot different, man.
Yeah,
with-
so they won't point out your insecurity. So it's kind of like, how do we enhance what you already have?
Is it because of our culture that we're like this?
I think our culture is more like problem solving kind of thing. They like to
Yeah.
identify problems.
Yeah.
And our Malaysian culture is very afraid of aging. Apparently,
It is.
right?
It's such a big stigma in terms of
Yeah.
looking old and wrinkles and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I'm starting to get like crow's feet on my eyes, and it makes me so insecure because like Malaysians point it out and they're like, "Have you not had any sleep?" Like they will straight up tell you in your face, and sometimes,
I don't know how to respond to that, dude. Sometimes.
yeah,
Like, so you look tired. I say, shit, should I sleep? Or like, should I not talk to you? Well, since you're addressing that,
sometimes I just say, "I'm not tired. I'm just ugly."
this is my face. Accept it. And deal with it. But yeah.
My eye bags are genetic though.
Ah, man, genetic. Yeah, it probably is. It probably is, right?
Yeah, I have like
Yeah.
hyperpigmentation because like I'm wearing makeup right now. You guys don't see it, but I have like really bad hyperpigmentation because like my ancestors had melanin and I don't. So so the melanin stuck here, So like I'm in this awkward genetic pool where, God just decides to merge whatever features on my face. So I have some melanin, but I have fair skin. So it's
You already have 4 different cultures in your body, dude. From your mom and dad.
yeah, they're all Asians. See, Asians are not only Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. They also have like Malays and all that. Indians
Yeah.
are also Asians.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And what we watch is influencing how we speak, like you mentioned, and importance of learning English as a second language.
Yeah, it's very, very important because, first of all, Malay used to be the communication language back in the days, right? The medieval era.
Medieval.
I don't think if it's medieval. Is it medieval era? I don't remember. I'm not good at history, but it used to be a lingua franca, which is kind of like the international language,
Yeah.
right? Of communication among the sailors and all that. And that's why some of us still speak Malay in other regions of the world.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happened in between, but English became an international language.
Listen, man, my auntie who is in her 50s, 60s, or 70s, or some of the uncles, they speak good English, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
Where did he learn it from?
They say back in the days when, British was colonized into Malaysia, the policy of UK, British lah, they came into Malaysia and everybody was required to learn English and everybody was supposed to be good at it. If you're not good at English back in those days, you're going to get bullied, dude.
Really?
Yeah, man. I mean, I asked some of our seniors, 50s to 60 years old, how did you just learn how to speak such good English? I really enjoy listening to you speak. And this lady or this uncle can say like, we had to learn how to speak good English back in those days. If not, everybody you're gonna get bullied.
That's
You're gonna
ironic.
get mocked if you if you suck at speaking properly, especially English. But not today though. Today is different. Today is like if
Today you get like at least like my time, right? I got bullied for being fluent in English.
you got bullied.
For being fluent in English.
Why?
Because I mean, like I was in a predominantly like okay, this is very controversial. So
Shall we?
shall we get into okay, let's get into it. So the Malays are very protective of their culture, right? So when they hear something unfamiliar or like seeing that you're straying away from the culture, they start to call you out. So yeah, admittedly I am a little bit westernized. A little bit, a lot of it.
But we're talking English. It's the language.
It's the language, right? But
Yeah.
the problem is they assume that I can't speak Malay just because I speak fluent English.
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
They made assumptions about me. It's not like I'm speaking English to them. It's just that in English class, I would be, acing.
So they have a different view about you just because you can't speak, just because you speak English.
Yeah, and then they're kind of just like, oh, she's like, snobby or whatever. And then I bet she doesn't even speak good Malay.
How did you feel about that when you heard that, dude?
It was pretty traumatizing. And I had to prove myself because like even the teachers were assuming if she's good in English, she's not going to be good in her native language because like we used to have exams to like, to see your grades, how well you do in certain languages, right?
Yeah.
But I was good in both.
Okay.
I had A+ for both languages, even in my high school exam. So like I don't get why people would assume just because you're fluent in English, you're not good in your native language. You can be good in both and be extra powerful and roast your haters in your native language.
Did you actually like when you had this? I mean, at that moment you were in your teenage time or something like that. It must be affecting your self-esteem a lot, especially.
A lot, yeah. I kind of kept to myself a lot back then.
Yeah, dude.
It's like I had friends. Like I tried making friends, but like not a lot of them actually liked me. So I ended up with like maybe 4 friends that are still friends with me to this day.
Yeah.
So and then I was mostly friends with like people from other cultures, and because they were speaking English to me, right?
Now you got international friends, dude.
Now I have international friends. My squad is like, I can tell you right now. So my squad, there's a Scottish girl, there's a Romanian girl, and there are 2 Americans.
Wow.
3 Americans, I think. I don't know. But there's like, we're all over the world. So the time zone was tricky. But at that point, we didn't even care about culture. We were just talking smack about people. This is what we had in common. We were just talking smack. We were telling each other. We were video calling each other. We were looking at time zones and trying to
Yeah.
figure out a good time to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really nice to learn their culture from them, So if y'all think Americans don't have culture, they actually do.
Of course.
They do.
Of course they do. Is understanding what kind of questions we should ask and what do we really want to know,
Yeah.
and accepting it, I think questions have to be asked and be ready to be accepted
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And thank you for sharing. I didn't know that language was something that was hindering you from your conditioning of friends back in those days.
Yeah, it was a bit sad because people just assume, oh, she's westernized, she doesn't want to be Malay. I'm actually proud to be Malay.
Of course you are, dude.
I tell everybody
Yeah.
every time somebody assumes I'm a certain race because I know a lot of y'all who assume I'm Middle Eastern. Okay, there's nothing wrong about being Middle Eastern, but I'm not one. Sorry to disappoint. I'm a Malaysian Malay. Okay, which sounds redundant, but Malaysian Malay. That's what
Yeah.
I am. That's my ethnicity. That's my nationality.
Totally understandable.
Yeah.
I'm glad we brought this up, just to clear the
Just to
understand.
clear the air a little bit because
Yeah.
I wrote on my bio Malaysian actress. People are like, are you from Saudi Arabia? Are you from Syria? Which I totally get. I do pass off as Syrian.
I guess it's just a common thing, right? To
Yeah.
have that kind of thing. But hey, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's just like because like sometimes I feel like I'm letting these kids down because they're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, I'm Arabic too. It's nice to have representation. And I'm like, ooh, how do I tell her I'm not? And I'm like, yay.
Oh man, cool.
Representation, though. Let's touch a little bit about representation.
Hmm.
How do you think Asians are being represented right now? Do you think there could be more that could be done?
South Korea is doing a good job, so I can give you the
K-pop, you
K-pop
know,
is
right?
hitting the world, and I don't know. It's already come to a point where. Okay, I'm into bands, right? I'm into music, so I see the Asian bands, I see the American bands, I see the Europe bands. We're all good right now. We're all
Yeah.
good.
We're all on
we all
par.
have something to deliver, something to offer, something to present, and it took a while to actually open up my eyes to understand that different places have different things to offer.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and I like to encourage everybody to put yourself out there to see and to explore and to experience different things that's going on out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now the thing is like accepting it. You need to understand your acceptance. Of course, I understand you have different cultures and different principles where you grew up and your conditioning and all that. And people say like, come on, have an open mind. So how open is open, bro?
Yeah. Open-mindedness is
How
so...
open is open, man?
Yeah,
it's so subjective.
It's very subjective because, like, it's being thrown around a lot, right?
It comes back to the shoes thing, bro. Like, seriously, you guys don't wear shoes in the house. We don't like wear shoes in the house, man. I don't know how to accept that.
I was on a road trip in America, right? So, you know how we use bidets here in the toilets?
Yes, wash.
Yeah. Wash our
Pipe up, water.
butts, right?
Wash.
So, on the road trip, I brought a bidet bottle, right? I don't have it right now. So, it's kind of like...
Bidet bottle.
Yeah, so it's like a bottle with like a tube. And then when you kind of press it, the water pressure comes up.
Wash
So
it where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, wash,
Wow.
your behind and your front.
Okay,
I'm not used
digesting
to,
the bidet bottle for a while. I
Yeah,
never
the
heard that
bidet
before, bro.
I just discovered it's the best invention ever.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's even better than our bidets
What?
here.
Bidet bottles, buy
The
one.
water guns,
Asses will be fresh.
So I was bringing, like, we went to LA, right, where it's multicultural, and nobody bats an eyelash when I was carrying that thing around. But when we were on our road trip from Yosemite to San Francisco, we stopped in the middle of nowhere in California. So it was at an Arby's. So Arby's is a fast food joint, kind of like Mary Brown.
Okay.
So, like, it's their own Mary Brown. It was for truckers, right? And truckers have never seen tourists before.
Interesting.
Yeah. Not only did I look different from them, but I was also carrying a bidet bottle into the toilet. They were like, what on earth?
Of course, they'd be shocked, right?
They were
'Cause-
kind of like, and then I was
Yeah.
just over there like, are they staring at me because I'm a hijabi, or are they staring at me because I was carrying a bidet bottle?
Exactly. Wow.
They're like, why is that girl carrying a bottle in the toilet?
I'm sure they have so many questions.
Yeah, but I just wish they would ask me instead of staring at me, because I was low-key scared. They were driving trucks. You know the trucks in Transformers?
Yeah,
The
those
big
guys, the
ones?
trucker guys.
The trucker guys.
long
right?
haul roads, long distances, long hours. Yeah.
I was kind of freaked out by it because, like, one of the trucks was behind us, and I was just like, are they following me because I'm a hijabi, or are they just passing by? I got paranoid. But thankfully, nothing happened during my first visit to America.
Understandable, of course.
Yeah, so I was on guard the entire time because it's my first time there, and I was
Definitely.
intimidated, kind of. But it quickly felt like home.
It did, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of miss it, actually, visiting
America.
California.
California.
Only California. I've never visited the rest of the states, so I can't really speak for the rest of the states.
I always wanted to go and see the Big Apple, though.
Ooh, I want to, but the Big
What-
Apple is so expensive.
Times Square, right?
Times
They
Square.
say it's like, it's nothing, Collin. There's nothing there. It's messy. There's so many people. And I don't know. Maybe it's just a childhood thing because I've seen movies when I was a kid. And I was like, it's so big and famous.
Yeah.
I guess just wanted. Maybe I just go there and check it out, and then like, okay, I guess it sucks. Then I leave.
You know the TikTok trend? Ding. Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
It's like, okay, I've seen the Statue of Liberty.
Okay. Okay, my eyes are satisfied. Okay. But yeah, man.
You should totally see the national parks. National parks.
What do you call it? Yellowstone.
Yellowstone, Yosemite Park, Niagara Falls. Those are like the iconic, the Grand Canyon, you know, all the natural parts of America. I think those were the best parts of my trip. I enjoyed Yosemite Park more than the cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All natural, man.
It's all natural. It was.
It's majestic, isn't
It's
it?
very majestic. It's like
Yeah.
your Apple Mac wallpaper.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
exactly what it is.
Damn.
It was stunning. The moment I took a glance at I think it was the half dome at Yosemite Park, you know, the rock formation. And I wanted to see it as a kid, right? So when I finally got there, I cried.
I can't imagine.
It was so overwhelming. I was just like, I can't believe I'm here
Yeah.
and I'm not single. Like, wow, somebody actually wants to marry me? Crazy.
This is too good to be true.
Well, can't take my eyes off of you.
Why am I here?
It's like, that's just surreal. I want to go back. That's my retirement plan. I want to get I want to get like what do you call that, Young?
RV.
An RV. No, they don't call it the RV. Trailer?
Homemobile.
Caravan?
I don't know what you call it.
Homemobile?
Fifth wheel.
Fifth wheel?
Fifth wheel.
Fifth wheel?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay, I don't know what it's called. Sorry, guys. But it's like that house on wheels,
So
right?
you're gonna do that across the country kind of thing.
Across the countries and just stopping by for nature.
Dude, go for it, man. I'll be so happy for you if you get to do that, dude.
I
Yeah.
really want to do that for the
Yeah.
longest time, but you know, I just don't have money, so I'm visiting one state at a time while my visa is still valid.
Okay, this is challenging.
I have 10 years. I gotta be quick.
But possible.
Yeah,
Possible.
unless by some miracle I end up moving to America.
Sure, when there's an apocalypse, you can go anywhere you want. Anyway, moving on.
Welcome everybody to our favorite segment, the red flag versus green flag. This time we'll be talking about the red flag and green flags of teachers in school or college. I don't know. Whichever.
Teachers.
Teachers. Is there a red flag?
Red flag teacher and green flag teacher.
Yes.
They're all red flag, bro. Okay, fine. Okay, let me just understand this. Okay, I grew up in a school where they're all guys. It's already red flag.
Sausage fest.
Sausage fest, dude. And I had to move from Labuan to Klang, and from that school it was a co-ed school, so they had girls and they had guys. So I felt like I can do this. I was 13, 14. Then when I got enrolled into La Salle Klang, I didn't know it was all guys school, bro. I came to
Aw,
class on the
man.
first day, and I see all guys, and I asked like one of the guys, he said like, "Where are all the girls?" And he looked at me weirdly. He goes like, "What girls? This is an old boys' school."
Oh man.
I'm like, shit. And then I went home and then I told my dad. My dad said, "Come on, it's just 4 years. You can deal with it." Dude, my education went down, bro.
Why is it the opposite?
I don't know. It was like because I was so used to having male and female.
Yeah.
And then when I went to a guy's school, I guess maybe it was like being 13, 14, or 15, I was intimidated because you're in a new place.
Yeah.
You're not familiar. How does this lingo go? What's all this gangsterism that I don't understand? And believe it or not, that's where racism came into my life.
What?
Let me
In
explain.
an all boys school?
All boys school. Let me explain why. I came to school. Okay, first things first, out of context. In Sabah, in Labuan, everybody hangs out with everybody. Okay? Malay, Chinese, Indian. Doesn't matter what
discrimination.
language. Everybody goes to the same coffee shop. Everybody knows each other's principle. Okay, you gotta go pray on Fridays, you gotta go church on Sundays. Everybody knew that. Nobody spoke about it and not being aware of like crossing the line. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I go to La Salle school I see the Indians sitting one row. I see the Malay sitting one row. I see the Chinese sitting one row. I'm confused. Where do I sit? So do you understand where I'm coming
Yeah,
from?
yeah, I totally get it.
That I couldn't see like, okay, Indian people sitting over here, Chinese people sitting over here, Malay people sitting over here, and everybody in class back in Labuan and KK in Sabah, everybody's mixing.
Aren't you guys supposed to sit by class?
Well, class in terms of what?
As in like your, class A or class B?
Oh, that one is normal. Yeah. Definitely you got the class A, class B.
Oh,
class
you mean
C.
like the little
I'm saying like
cliques.
inside the class, bro.
The cliques.
Yeah, cliques like Malay, Indian, Chinese. Everybody was clicking.
Why did you think that was?
I felt so lost because everybody was in their own culture, in their own race.
Yeah.
In Sabah, in Labuan, everybody was mixed up in terms
Yeah.
of sitting.
Yeah.
So I figured that was where racism came into my life.
So where
Like,
did you
I
end
didn't
up?
recognize that. I couldn't understand it. What's going on? Why is everybody sitting only from there?
Like
The
segregation, right?
Yeah, language. The language they speak and stuff like that.
I think the psychology behind it is really familiarity.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Because my race is the majority race in Malaysia, right? Mm-hmm. But like once you're a minority, you find comfort in finding other minorities. So I think that's the psychology behind it. Like humans just acknowledge familiarity.
I wish somebody told me that.
Yeah.
I was so confused.
I think it's a survival instinct because like not to say that they think other races are dangerous.
Yeah.
But like you naturally gravitate towards what is comfortable to you. But like some of us are built different. Like you and
Yeah,
me, we're
right.
built different. We would just like go out of our comfort zone and
Different conditioning.
different conditioning, and we explore other culture and other other stuff. But like there are some people who are conditioned to be comfortable,
Yeah.
to be stuck in their bubble,
Yeah.
to sort of, I wouldn't say stuck. Like stuck is so negative. It's more like they prefer familiar languages.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And familiar culture. So like even if you speak Malay, right, you will never sound like a Malay, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and then sometimes you don't understand certain Malay terminologies. So
Different frequency.
like different frequency.
Yeah.
Like even for me, I find myself hard to fit in to like people who are very, very into, just hanging out with Malays.
You're pretty much versatile. You have your Malay friends, Chinese. You have different groups of friends.
It's because I'm neurodivergent. I'm asking.
Masking.
It makes so, but that's
I
a
think
strength.
that's just courtesy, bro. I mean, because we like to connect, right?
Yeah.
We're kind of people we like to explore different communities and different cultures and different backgrounds, stuff.
Like I love learning about new things, but it doesn't affect how it kind of affect. Okay, your friends. I'm gonna put this out there. The friends you hang out with do affect you, in a way. You are who you hang out with.
Indeed, it did.
So like if you
Yeah.
hang out with different culture, you're gonna be more accepting of other culture, right?
Yeah.
So because you understand why they do what they do.
Yeah.
But if you don't know, you're just gonna speculate. Because like as a Muslim in like a predominantly non-Muslim country, people are gonna speculate so many things about me, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they see my hijab and they're gonna assume, she's extremist.
You
or
told me
whatever.
about this a lot. A
Yeah,
lot of
remember?
people. Yeah, a lot of people assume.
Yeah, a lot of people assume things, and then when they actually talk to me, they're like, "Oh, that's how it is." Because
Yeah.
like some of them are really not exposed to Muslims.
Sometimes it's. I put myself in their shoes. Okay, imagine I'm from United Kingdom. Of course, I wouldn't want to offend you by asking questions but I'm sure there's a way to communicate, right? To
Yeah.
understand the hijab, understand your culture.
Like some people are asking out of respect. There's a difference between asking out of respect,
Asking out of respect.
out of like wanting to understand, because like some of them do be asking questions like, "Do you shower with your hijab on?"
Wow. Yeah.
Which sounds silly to me because I've been wearing my hijab my entire life. But like if I were in their shoes, I want to know too, because like
Yeah.
at what point do you take off the hijab?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
like for me, I don't wear it when I shower, when I sleep, or when I'm at home among family members, right? So
Yeah. When do you take off your shoes, America? No, just kidding. Sorry.
I take off my shoes in America. Same thing,
Still bothering me. But anyway, yeah.
Same thing. So,
Yeah.
but some people they ask you to mock you. You know.
They ask you to mock you.
Yeah, they ask you in a mocking way.
Bad intentions.
Yeah, they're kind of like, why do you have to wear the hijab? Like, you're being oppressed, kind of thing. And I'm like,
Daddy issues.
yeah. To me, it's like, what is oppression is your definition of freedom. Because, like, you guys are oppressed. Because, like, if you think the definition of freedom is showing more skin, if that is your only definition of freedom, instead of freedom to wear whatever we want, I guess you're oppressed.
Wow. Wow. Okay, let it sink in for a bit, okay? It's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
It's
It's a different perspective
Come on, man.
of how to see it.
The world is round, right?
The will is wrong.
Right.
Would you rather?
Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Thank you so much for joining us in this podcast over here. And I would just want a big shout out to each and every one of you as hit that subscribe button, and we would love that. And ask some questions in the comments. Help us out with any of the topics or subjects that you'd like us to discuss, and we appreciate, of course, your perspective too. My name is Collin. This is Too Legit to Quit, and this is
Yana Azlee signing out. See you in the next episode.
Love you guys. Bye.
Happy Eid Mubarak.